Hi. Hey, I can name all 50 states. Maybe you can name all 50 states. I've even got them on my shirt. I've even got a song for all 50 states. Let's get started and give it a try. Arizona, California, West Virginia, and Alaska. Oops. We'll have to have a discussion about map projections and the fact that Alaska and Hawaii are not in this body, haha, if you will, of other states. That all has to do with geography and history, but that's another story. Continuing on now. Minnesota, South Dakota, and Kansas. Maine and Utah, Massachusetts, Colorado, and Montana. Indiana, Mississippi, and Wisconsin. New Mexico, New Hampshire, New York, and New Jersey, Hawaii, Oregon, and Rhode Island, and Kentucky, Texas, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Iowa, Oklahoma, and Virginia, and Wyoming. Okay, so they don't all rhyme. You can name states, is the point. You can name countries. You might be able to name sub-regions of countries, like provinces and administrative districts. You might be able to name oceans, or ocean currents, or biomes or climate names. I have two questions for you. First of all, is it important to memorize place names? And number two, is memorizing place names geography? Alright, first of all, is it important? Well, geography, despite the current and past press that's been given to this subject, has never been about memorization. True, some have taught it that way, and some textbooks, if you go back to the 19th century, have treated it somewhat this way. But if you look at the original name that the Greeks had for it, geograph, describing the earth, it's all about describing the earth. It's human impact on the environment and how the environment impacts humans. Indeed, geography is concerned with all the major issues of our time. I can't think of a more relevant topic than geography to today's world. For example, energy, water, natural hazards, habitat, politics, climate, migration, biodiversity. These are all the essential issues of our time, are they not? Also, the scale of geography is fascinating. Geographers study everything from the microbes in soil all the way up to neighborhood change in your community to global ocean currents and how they affect climate. Geography is really the only subject that gives you the world and challenges you to make sense of it. It's a big challenge. Are you ready for it? Because the world needs your contribution to geography. To understand these things I mentioned, you need to understand and know where things are, certainly. Where hazards occur and where they don't. Where potential for hydropower or wind energy are. So, for example, take the issue of oil sand extraction from northern Alberta and the Northwest Territories and Nunavut up in Canada. Why is that important? What are the pros and cons? What's the scale? How can those oils be transported? And why do they need to be transported? What is the demand for energy? And so on and so forth. These are all geographic questions. And so you need to know, for example, where those oil sands are and why they're where they are. So, to answer my own question, yes, it is important to know where things are. Just like in chemistry, it's important to know compounds and elements, and in biology, it's important to know processes, and in history, it's important to know when things occurred so you can understand why they occurred. So, geography is more than memorizing places. But it's important to know where things are. Now, but the number two question is place name memorization geography? I think you're going to know the answer to my question. It is not all of geography, and it is not even a theme or a central focal point of geography. Memorizing and knowing where things are is simply part of the breadth and depth and width of the discipline. Just like any discipline contains basic content knowledge. Geography's content knowledge, though, extends far beyond places, doesn't it? It extends to processes, to scale, to systems. What do I mean by systems? The demographic transition system, climate, ecoregions, transportation systems, watersheds, oceans, the hydrologic cycle, the carbon cycle. These are all systems, and they're important to understand the whys of where. So, yes, know your states, know your countries. It is important. But it is only one step in the key to understanding our marvelous world through geography. Thanks.